This video is made for mature audience. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, my Hooked honeys, and welcome back to Hooked. If you're new here, my name is Leanne, and Hooked is basically where we talk about some true crime stories and do some crochet projects together. So before we get started, I did want to talk to y'all about some stuff. I've decided to start posting episodes every other week instead of every week, because I've put way too much stress on myself and I don't want to burn myself out, because I really do enjoy doing this. And baby, it's been a lot. Like, I be making promises that's not being kept, so I really just want to dive a little deeper into crocheting rather than like the true crime part of it. I don't know. Y'all will see what I'm talking about, and I feel like the episodes would be better, it'd be more in depth. We'll just do a lot. Everything would just be a lot better instead of me like hurry up and try and do some research and then record the night before or the day of and try and post the episode when I have all other stuff going on, like I work and I'm a mom. It's just, life be lifing. So yeah, I wanted to throw that out there. I mean, as you guys probably could already tell, because I kind of already started doing it. But yeah, every other Wednesday. It'll still be on Wednesdays for sure, but every other Wednesday. So yeah, I got y'all every other Wednesday. So I started a poncho out of granny squares, and let me tell y'all, this has had me messed up. Okay, like I've been working on it forever, and then I had the nerve to put it together the wrong way, so I had to take everything apart because I wasn't gonna waste the yarn. Like, who's gonna do that? So we're here now, and I finished it, and it doesn't really fit me the way I actually wanted it to, and I was not about to go back through, and I would have had to buy a whole nother thing. It was just too much. So I have a mini me, I'm gonna just give it to her, or I made it for her. That's all that matters. So I have to make just little ties for like this part of the poncho for her, and then that's basically what we'll be doing on this episode. I also bought me some t-shirt yarn, y'all, and I got a little situation ready for that. Okay, I don't think y'all ready for that, because I'm not ready for it. So just wait. So for these little straps that I'm making for her, it's pretty basic. I have 2 strings together, so I just put it together. Okay, side note, I cut myself at work today, and I cut myself 2 times in the same finger at work today, and it's very irritated. So I have a cut right here and I have a cut right here. So if y'all see me messing with my finger, just don't mind it. So for these straps, I did a slip knot, and I'm going to chain 2, bow, and then we're going to split this apart. We're going to wrap one around, bring it through, wrap it around and bring it through, wrap it around, bring it through, wrap it around and bring it through, wrap it around and bring it through, wrap it around and bring it through. So those are that's basically what the stitch that I'm doing for the straps, right? So also be talking about a man named Daniel Petric, and y'all, this case is crazy. It gets crazy. So we're going to go ahead and light our crochet candle and go ahead and get into this story. Yes, honey. This is, I can already tell this ball ain't going to do me good, so we're going to go ahead and put it on the floor. Here we are, October 20th, 2007, at the home of Danny and his parents, Susan and Mark Petric. Around 7 p.m., when his parents were watching TV, Danny walked up behind his parents as they were sitting on the couch and said, "Would you close your eyes? I have a surprise for you." He then proceeded to shoot both of his parents with a 9mm handgun. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Both of them. His mom and his dad. Danny's father, Mark, said that he went numb and he saw bleeding pouring down from his skull. Unfortunately, Susan died from her gunshot wounds. She was shot in her head, arms, and chest. Danny then placed the gun in his father's hand to make it look like a murder-suicide, saying to him, "Hey, Dad, here's your gun. Take it." What the hell is going on already? Danny Petric was 16 at the time of the shooting. And it's crazy because the night that this happened, the family had planned to watch a baseball game together on the TV with his sister Heidi and her husband Andrew. Well, Heidi and Andrew get to the house a little early, and Danny stops them from coming inside, saying that his parents was fighting. And of course, this already seemed pretty sketchy to Heidi. She then heard groans coming from inside the house. So her and her husband kind of pushed Danny out the way to go and see what was going on because he was being sketchy. Of course, they seen the aftermath of what happened, and Heidi decided to call the police. Danny ended up driving away in the family van in an attempt to escape to a friend's house, but he was arrested on the drive. Good job, dude. Fucking good job. Now, what in the world would possess a 16-year-old boy to shoot both his parents in the head? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is going on? What's going on inside of your brain? So we're going to go ahead and get into that. Daniel Petric, whose last name was Danny, was a 16-year-old boy who attended a high school in Wellington, Ohio. His father, Mark Petric, was a minister at the New Life Assembly of God in Wellington, and his mother was also a devoted church member. Danny had a loving relationship with both of his parents, and friends and family described him as a happy teenager. There was nothing that would have prepared them for what was to come. Danny unfortunately contracted a staphylococcus infection from a skiing injury and was housebound for about a year. So basically bedbound for about a year while recovering from severe spinal damage. And during his recovery, he was introduced to the game named Halo by one of his friends, Jonathan Johnson. And for those of you who don't know what Halo is, it is a very violent game about war with aliens, and most of them are rated M for mature audience. Now, Mark, being the man he was, he definitely disapproved of this game and disapproved of his son playing this game in his home. Of course, this was a problem for Danny. He decided that he was going to move into Jonathan's house for the whole weekend. Like, say, okay, you won't let me play this game? Forget it. I'm going to my friend's house. I'm just going to live there. So all weekend, they were just sitting there playing Halo with his friends for up to 18 hours a day with minimal breaks. And this happened about a week before the shooting as well. So we're just gonna throw that into like a time frame for you guys. This whole you can't play this game, all of this happened a week before the shooting. Now, of course, Danny went back home because duh, he's 16. And soon after that, he bought his own copy of the most recent game of Halo, which was Halo 3, without his father knowing. After Mark found Danny bringing the game into the house, he took it and put it into his safe, where he also kept his 9mm Taurus PT 92 handgun. A week later, Danny found the key to Mark's safe and stole both the game and the gun. And around 7 p.m., we know what happened. Danny's trial was held from December 15th to December 17th of 2008 in the Lorain County Court of Commons in Elyria, Ohio. There are about 25 people that came to trial in support of Danny. Yes, in support of Danny. Several of his relatives and friends testified, including his dad, Mark, Jonathan Johnson, and his grandfather. And I didn't know if it was his mom's dad or his dad's dad. I'm pretty sure it was his dad's dad, though, if I'm not mistaken. Now, prosecutors portrayed Danny as a heartless killer who showed no remorse for his actions. They claim he tried to set the shooting up as a murder-suicide. He had planned this crime very carefully, knowing that his sister and her husband would plan to enter the house around 9 p.m. What he didn't plan on is them showing up 2 hours early, and that's how they ended up finding out what happened so soon, and he really had no time to escape, right? Also, Danny informed the psychologist that he had planned this murder of his parents for about a week. Yeah, he told someone that. Now, the defense team disputed all of what prosecution was saying that they were going to argue for insanity defense, claiming that Danny had developed an addiction to the game, and because he was playing the game so much, he couldn't really tell the difference between the game and real life. Yep, that's what they tried to go with. After shooting his parents, he thought that they were just supposed to come back, like what happens in video games. You die in the video game, it restarts. This is also paired with the medication that he was taking during his recovery, and not really being able to do much besides play the game, not really having access to the outside world, and just being off of his meds. It was a lot, right? And with the support of his family and friends, they were able to dispute all of the prosecution's assumptions about Danny's personality. Guys, Danny's father testified in court, basically saying that Danny wasn't himself when the shooting happened. He's a really good kid and all this other stuff. Like, sir, your son shot you in the head. Like, he walked up behind you and shot you in the head. What in the world? Who the fuck? What? When it was all said and done, Danny Petric was convicted of aggravated murder, attempted aggravated murder, and tampering with evidence, and due to his age, he could not be sentenced to death. The judge, however, did sentence him to life with a possibility of parole after 23 years. And that was the minimum sentence for him. The maximum, of course, would have been Danny in life without the possibility of parole. Danny is currently serving his sentence at the Grafton Correctional Institute and will be eligible for parole in 2030. Y'all, it's almost 2025. The man that shot both of his parents in the back of their heads because they took a video game from him is going to be eligible for parole in 5 years. 5.5. Not even. We're like a month and a half away from the new year. So 5 years, basically. Like, it's crazy work. Crazy work. Well, my Hooked Honeys, that was the case of Daniel Petric. If you would like to see the finished product of the poncho that I'm making, feel free to follow me on Instagram at HookedWTrueCrime. And please, 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 if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe because I'm here for you every other Wednesday. I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving, and I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Love y'all. Bye.